Hey guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the brand new limited edition Nike Air Footscape Magista. Now as you can see, it does come in an all-white Nike box, which is a little bit unusual. Open the lid and on the inside you will of course find the shoes themselves with no extras included. So we'll get these guys out of the box really quickly and we'll take a closer look at a pair of sneakers that I've had a ton of requests to bring in, but wasn't too confident I was actually going to be able to get. This is the Nike Air Footscape Magista, a soccer-inspired pair of sneakers. As you guys can tell, it bears quite a resemblance to a shoe you're probably familiar with, the Nike Magista Obra soccer cleat. Now this was a limited edition release from Nike. It came out, I want to say about 2 weeks ago now, and I was actually lucky enough to snag a pair for the $200 retail price. They went for sale, sold out in a matter of seconds, and since then, like I said, aren't really available. It was a very limited release. 3 colorways of this particular shoe came out. There was an all black that I picked up. There was an all white and an all kind of light blue color. Wasn't a huge fan of the blue ones, but I got the black ones, which is the ones that I actually wanted. They are available now on eBay from resellers that are trying to sell them well above the $200 retail price. So if you don't mind paying well over retail for these shoes, that is where you can pick them up. But as far as picking them up at $200 retail price, you're just not going to find them anywhere. But nonetheless, tons of requests for these things. If you guys don't mind seeing these soccer-inspired sneakers on my channel, let me know down below in the comment section, or just support this video with a like if it is something that you want to see more of. I did feature the Nike Free Hypervenom Mid not too long ago on the channel. Nike seems to be really kind of not necessarily focusing, but coming out with a fair amount of soccer-inspired sneakers that I'm personally a huge fan of. I think this is just a really, really cool shoe, as you guys can see with its resemblance side by side with the Magista Obra soccer cleat. And in today's video, we're going to just basically be highlighting the shoe, taking a closer look at it, and doing a bit of a history lesson, because while it does have the modern Magista Obra upper, it actually does have a pretty interesting Air Footscape platform to it that we're also going to be talking about in today's video. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about the Air Footscape Magista from Nike, please stick around. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. Alright, so here is a look at the Air Footscape Magista from Nike. It's a very interesting and somewhat unusual sneaker if you ask me, especially if you don't know what a Magista Obra is, and especially if you don't know what the Footscape sole from Nike is all about. To the untrained eye, these come across as weird looking, and it's just that simple. Leave your opinions on it down below in the comment section. Do you like how these look? Why or why not? Would you actually wear a pair of these? Because I like how they look off feet, on feet. I can't say that I'm convinced with the overall style of this shoe. It's just not one of those sneakers that I think most people will be able to pull off, if that makes any sense. But nonetheless, I just think it's a very, very cool shoe, and the quality is phenomenal, which I guess should be expected considering it does retail for $200 US, which is a pretty high price tag to pay for any pair of sneakers, honestly. So as far as the upper is concerned, as you guys can see, it is inspired by the Nike Magista Obra soccer cleat that I have right here. It features a Flyknit upper, the mid-cut dynamic fit collar, but obviously some differences that are there for both comfort reasons as well as aesthetic reasons, being that this is a lifestyle sneaker as opposed to an actual performance product or soccer cleat. Now, the first thing that you'll notice that is very similar to that of the Magista Obra soccer cleat is the actual Flyknit construction. It does feature the same kind of woven pattern or knitted pattern to the Flyknit material itself, where you have kind of this honeycomb-like effect. It's very heavily textured, but what you will notice is that there's no Nike skin covering on top. It's left completely exposed, which does give it a much more soft and flexible sensation, whereas the Flyknit on the Magista Obra is going to be a lot more dense and a lot more structured overall. This definitely feels more like a sock. It's much thinner and is very, very comfortable as a casual wear shoe, which is kind of what they were going for with this particular design. You will find Nike skin in the form of the Nike swoosh that is actually kind of fused onto the surface of the upper. It's black on black, so it's not super noticeable, as you guys can see. Obviously, the Nike swoosh is not in the exact same spot either. It's a little bit larger on the soccer cleat versus what you're going to find here on the actual Air Footscape model. And of course, on the medial side, the Nike swooshes aren't in the same position either. But nonetheless, very, very cool looking shoe. As far as other differences that you're going to find to the upper, you will of course find that you have some nylon straps on the front and back of the shoe around the dynamic fit collar, which I think actually looks pretty cool. And it actually is very helpful as far as putting the shoes on and taking them off. Unfortunately, I'm not sure this is something you could actually implement on the soccer cleat, because they would probably be afraid of other people's cleats kind of hooking onto these, ripping off, or just being a hazard to other players as well as yourself in general, because of that kind of threat of people hooking onto your shoes with their own cleats. So that's probably why they did not implement something like this on the actual Magista Obra, which probably not a bad idea at the end of the day. Lacing system, as you guys can see, is more or less the same. It does still have that elasticated sensation, as does the dynamic fit collar, which, as you guys can see, does have the exact same Flyknit pattern there. As far as the rear portion of the shoe, you're going to find a heel counter that isn't necessarily a heel counter. It's pretty much just a nice, really high quality leather that is stitched on top in place of what would normally be an external heel counter. Really, really high quality black leather. You can see I have a Nike swoosh there embossed at the back, and you also have some black leather running up the back of the dynamic fit collar as well. And overall, the construction is absolutely phenomenal. These are made in Bosnia, just like you're going to find with the standard Magista Obra soccer cleat. So again, the quality is really, really phenomenal, but to be expected considering the high price tag of this shoe. You do find a heel liner on the inside of the shoe, as you would from the Magista Obra, just a little bit different though. And as far as the insole is concerned, it is fully removable as well. Very different from what you're going to find in the soccer cleat, but again, really, really high quality. It features a super nice kind of tan leather lining on top. You guys can't smell this thing, but it smells absolutely phenomenal. Your Magista branding there with the Nike swoosh in black on the heel. And the quality of the leather on this thing is just really, really nice. Way too nice for a pair of insoles in my opinion, but they really went over the top with this design. It's a Footscape insole, so you can see it does have a somewhat unusual shape. And then it's just made from a fairly dense layer of this kind of gray foam material that actually feels really, really nice. This is a surprisingly comfortable shoe, which I'll talk about more a little bit later in the video. Now, as far as the outsole is concerned, this is probably the one aspect of this shoe that is going to be the most controversial in terms of people either loving it or hating it. I can't say that I was a huge fan of it at first, but it definitely is growing on me, and it looks a lot better in person than it does online in my opinion. So this is the Air Footscape sole from Nike. Now the Footscape sole originally came out in 1995, and think of it as the original Nike Free concept, if you will. In 1995, Nike put out the Footscape sole that had this very unusual shape, very unusual appearance to it, but the concept behind the unusual shape and appearance was to actually mimic the natural movement and natural motion of your foot while running, which they did achieve, and you definitely do feel when you put these on. They don't feel like standard shoes. In 2010, they brought back the Footscape sole, but gave it more of a modern feel with, of course, the Nike Free splits. So that's what you have on this shoe. This is the modernization of the Footscape sole. This is still not a sole that they use on any of their performance products at this point in time. It's strictly a kind of Nike sportswear sneaker type of implemented sole, but it still does look very, very good. It's made from what I believe to be a standard foam material, most likely the same type of foam they use on the Nike Frees, and you do actually have a heel unit, a heel zoom air unit, sorry, in the heel of the actual sole. So comfort is really, really good. It's got the Nike Free splits, so it's very, very flexible, but obviously it's the design and appearance of it that's just unusual. It has this interesting texturing to it, kind of like a safari print-like appearance on the outside. It's white in color and actually does have some very light gray speckling to it, kind of going all the way around. On the medial side especially, I think it just looks particularly weird. You have this weird cutout here. It bulges out at the heel, and it is just very unusual looking. Certainly not for everybody. And then of course on the bottom of the sole, you do have the Nike Free splits. All the white area is pretty much just standard exposed foam. And then you're gonna actually find some gum rubber sole here at the tip of the toe, as well as the back of the heel and kind of the high wear zones. But nonetheless, just a really, really good looking sneaker in my opinion. I'm a big fan of how these look off feet, on feet. I still have mixed feelings about these things, but you guys will see what they look on feet in just a second. But again, leave your opinions on these down below in the comment section. Do you like how these look? Why or why not? And with that being said, let's move on to the on feet portion of this video so we can get a better idea as to how these things look. Alright, so here is a look at the Air Footscape Magistas on feet. On my left foot I have the stock black laces that come with the shoes, and on my right foot I threw in some of the reflective black SR4U replacement laces. These are laces designed for your soccer cleats, but because this is soccer cleat inspired, and you can put them in running shoes if you want, I thought they'd look particularly good on this pair, being that it is all black. Not that it really needs any more extra attention, but reflective black laces, I think they look pretty good on this shoe. If you're interested in a pair for yourself, check out the website sr4ulaces.com. You'll find a link to that down below in the description of this video. Now, in terms of how these things fit and feel on feet, they're really comfortable. I've never worn a shoe with this Footscape sole before, and I will say that it feels weird, but in a very good way. The heel seems particularly high and just very plush as far as comfort is concerned. And then you have this kind of pretty dramatic drop in the forefoot and toe area that just kind of allows you to roll really smoothly from heel to toe, if that makes any sense. It's very flexible, but at the same time, it feels very bulky, which is kind of hard to explain, but like I said, they're just really comfortable shoes. Obviously, this is what they look like with a pair of pants, and I think they look pretty good. I'm not sure this is the type of shoe that I would want to wear with shorts, honestly. For being pretty much all black and with a little bit of white in the midsole, these are as kind of flashy a pair of shoes as you can buy, in my opinion, just because they are a little bit spacey looking, especially if you don't know what a Magista Obra is, or if you've never seen the Footscape sole before, because like I said, it does have somewhat of an unusual appearance to it, but nonetheless, they're very comfortable, and I actually think they look pretty good on feet, at least with a pair of black pants that I have right here that kind of have a tapered look towards the ankle, so you don't cover up the actual mid-cut design of the shoe, because it does have a snug fit. As far as the actual fit of the shoe is concerned, they don't really fit or feel like Magista Obras at all. It has the Flyknit upper, it's much more thin, it's much more flexible, and just more stretchy overall in comparison to what you're going to find on the soccer cleat, not only because it doesn't have the Nike skin covering, it's not exactly the same construction, and of course it doesn't have the same sole plate either, but very comfortable. I would say that these are significantly wider, to the point where they will literally fit just about everybody. And as far as sizing is concerned, I normally wear a 9.5 in sneakers. That's what I went with these, and the fit is pretty much perfect lengthwise. So if you are planning on picking up a pair of these for yourself, either at a future release or perhaps on eBay from a reseller, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. Just wanted to give you guys a quick look at what these shoes look like with a pair of shorts. I personally prefer how they look with pants, but obviously you could wear them with shorts as well. To me, the mid-cut design of this shoe, especially to people who won't know what a Magista Obra is, which I think is most people, these things just look a little bit goofy. They're cool to me, but not necessarily to everybody else. And I guess at the end of the day, that is what matters. But if you want to walk around with a lot of people staring at your feet, this is definitely one of those shoes that is going to do that for you. Even though it is pretty much solid black. Like I said, it's probably the flashiest all black shoe that money can buy at the moment. Really interesting design. Certainly not for everybody, but in my opinion, just a really cool over the top shoe from Nike. Alright guys, that's it for my review of the Nike Air Footscape Magista. This is a really cool soccer inspired sneaker from Nike that I hope they kind of keep up with. It's a bit of a shame that it was such a limited release. Hopefully this does become more readily available in the near future. I don't know for sure whether or not that's going to happen, but we can all hope, of course. It obviously is a soccer inspired sneaker to run alongside the Nike Free Hypervenom Mid, which is actually readily available, and I'll leave an annotation to that shoe on screen if you missed my video on those. And I know a lot of you guys will ask down below in the comment section, where is my review of the Nike Free Superfly, which is obviously the Superfly sportswear sneakers that Nike has released to the public. Those have been more limited than these even. Very difficult to get a hold of. I have not been able to get a pair as of yet. As you may have guessed, I'm going to continue to try to snag a pair, and when I do, I will be making a video. So for those that will continue to ask about that shoe, I'm working on it. Stay tuned. As soon as I get a pair, I will of course make a video. In the meantime, if you guys do want to check out the review page on my website, you won't find any buy it now links for this shoe, but you will find the high quality images of the shoe that I took myself that'll give you a better idea as to some of the close-up details that you might not see in the online stock photos. That is the very first link down below in the description, so go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions regarding this shoe at all, questions in general, or suggestions, leave all of those down below in the comment section. I'll answer your questions and take a look at everything you guys have to say. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for more reviews, daily reviews on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.